All right, guys. What the flip is going on? So, special episode today. We're going to be exploring the OGs, the legends of skateboarding, and their impact on our beautiful culture. And we will be asking the question, are the old heads destroying the very thing that they assisted in creating? That's what we're going to be looking at. So get a drink. Let's sit back. I've got a sunset iced tea thing from It's Boba Time. I've selected 5 skaters here. Costin, P-Rod, Tony Hawk, Reynolds, the boss, and then Gino Iannucci.
I'm also going to do a special segment on Jason Ellis.
Now, not all of these guys are guilty of the same crime. Some, we're putting them in the dungeon for a week. Others, they're getting the nipple clamps permanently attached to them. Skateboarding and skateboarders are getting older, and that is making it less attractive to children. When I was growing up, my favorite skater was Ryan Sheckler.
Well, I still don't know what's business or pleasure unless I'm naked.
He was my favorite. I didn't grow up watching Christian Hosoi or whatever fucking vert dogs used to run skateboarding back in the day. I wasn't watching any of the fucking Z-Boys. I didn't know who Tony Alva was, and I certainly didn't give a fuck. Like, there were plenty of options for young and relatable talents for me to be inspired by. Now, I think the people that are influencing and currently shaping skateboarding are so fucking old. Like, the amount of publicity and influence that these dudes have. If kids are going to the skate shop or Barnes and Noble and they're picking up a Thrasher magazine and they see Andrew Reynolds doing a fucking kickflip wall ride on it, it doesn't look very cool, does it? You don't want to really say anything mean about Reynolds or whatever, but what is this really? Because Andrew Reynolds being 50 on the cover of Thrasher doing a wall ride. Obviously, the reason that he's on the cover of Thrasher is because he had a new shoe coming out. What do you think it looks like to people? It looks like the cover of Thrasher is for sale. I don't know if New Balance bought it, didn't buy it, whatever. But this is standard now. If you are a pro skater and you skate for a big shoe brand and you have a shoe coming out, then you kind of just get on the cover of Thrasher. We just saw it with Current Cables as well. I don't think that's what Thrasher is supposed to be. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Thrasher is supposed to showcase the best skateboarding that happened that month, and the coolest photo goes on the front, not the photo that will maximize New Balance shoe sales. I don't think that is supposed to be what you guys are there for. It seems like the strategy now is to play it as safe as possible. I don't think that's what skateboarding is about. I like Current Cables, for example. He just got a shoe, but that shoe is 3 shoes combined as a new shoe. Skateboarding shoes right now are the fucking car market, where every car is the same as every other car, and it's all combined and shitty and bulbous and gray. I think that if the shoe brands had the mentality today in the late 2000s, there would be no Janowski, because that would have been too crazy. That would have been too off the wall. That would have been seen as too great a risk. Yeah, I think skateboarding is currently grappling with the new evolution and the reinvention, what's going to be the next era of skating, because I've talked to some people about this, and the most common counterpoint that's brought up is, well, actually, it's not really that the OGs and the old heads and the legends are hogging the spotlight. It's more to do with the fact that the young guys aren't pulling their weight. There's no superstars in the way that we have Costin, P-Rod, and Reynolds and Tony Hawk. We don't have those guys anymore. For the record, we do sort of have guys that are adjacent to that. It just doesn't feel like skateboarding is as big as it was, especially in the mainstream this time around, where, obviously Ryan Sheckler had a TV show, Bam had a TV show, Tony Hawk had video games. We do have Nyjah and Yuto. They feel kind of limited. Yuto might be gigantic in Japan, but in the United States, Nyjah is nowhere near the level that some of these other guys in the past have reached. It's hard to know, because in the world that we live in right now, these guys are absorbing a lot of resources that could be going elsewhere in the industry. We're going to get to a point where skating is going to hit a wall, and you're not going to be able to make Gino push for the next ASIC shoe because he's going to look like a skeleton. He's already doing so little as it is. He's been phoning it in for like a decade. Go look at his Instagram page. Yeah, Gino fucking sucks. Like, who actually likes Gino? Oh, you can't say it. Gino has impacted my life zero.
This nigga's legendary? Based on what? What has he done? Who the fuck knows who
Gino
is outside of the local ghetto community?
You think I'm going to pretend to like Gino Iannucci? This new shoe release, by the way, this is a perfect example. This isn't even his pro model. They used Gino to release this shoe. They're like, Gino, come up with some colorways for us, you know? You're some kind of skateboarding genius, right? You design the first colorways, and then if you do that, we can plaster your face all over Instagram to promote these things at a hockey rink for some fucking reason. This was Gino's master plan, by the way. He's like, what if I made a black shoe and a white shoe? Oh my God. How did you come up with that, Gino? For the premier colorways of a shoe, you made a black one and a white one? Oh, wow. Nobody would have thought about that. Good thing you guys used him to design these colorways. Do you think kids are looking at this and being like, oh, Asics are cool. There's a guy in a locker room with a lamp and a bag of milk. What the fuck? Where are you aiming? And this isn't just Asics. This is all over the fucking board. Again, this guy did a tail stall in the promo video.
This nigga's legendary.
And he's the main dude. How is this the main dude? This can't be your main dude.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
These guys are going to either drop dead or be so obviously old that it's going to be just completely ludicrous that you would try to associate them with an action sport. People are so nostalgic and fearful of the current moment. They want to rewind. They want to watch old movies. And if they're not, and you can't make any money if you're a studio from people watching old movies. So you just remake the old movies again. We're seeing that in skateboarding with video game re-releases, shoe re-releases, redesigns, rehashes. Why is it that people that work at these major shoe brands who make massive decisions in skateboarding? I mean, these are the shoes that we wear. These are the guys that decide what comes out and what is made. You're asking, why do they keep providing so much cultural purchase to these old guys? And I think from what I understand, a lot of these guys that work at these shoe brands, first of all, they're terrified of making a mistake because it's hard to get one of these jobs in skateboarding. It's like a cushy corporate gig. Nobody wants to give that up, so they're playing it safe. Secondly, I think that because these are older guys and they want to celebrate and recognize the guys that they grew up watching, like they're picking their faves to give shoes to. I think that combination of things is why we're seeing skateboarding having such massive dinosaur representation. At this point, I think it's a bit of a trite remark to bring up the fact that in the 17th and 18th centuries, they used to treat nostalgia as a legitimate psychiatric medical condition. But you look at this is the latest colorway of the P-Rod re-release, right? Am I the one who's crazy? Or does this look ancient? This is certainly not a timeless shoe. Like, this isn't like, oh, it's one of the classics. You can't go wrong with the P-Rod 1. Even something like the Leo Baker shoe, which is hilarious that they even release this apex wokeness from Nike that they put this thing out. But even that shoe is like designed in a much more appealing contemporary fashion than these P-Rods. I think these P-Rods look like cheap Dunks. Like they look like a Nike 6-point. I've been waiting to talk about edgelord for a while now, and I will even say initially, I was kind of excited and intrigued by edgelord, especially because they had so much negative press and attention that made them appealing to me, where I was like, okay, they're doing something different. When there's so much complaint and conversation about skateboarding stagnating and being boring and all the videos looking the same, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Blondie recently did a Bunt podcast interview, and during his not so rapid fire section, I think if the rapid fire is the majority or the largest segment of the podcast, I don't think you can call that a rapid fire anymore. That is just the interview continued.
All right, worst company. That's too easy. Edgelord. It has to be Edgelord.
Perfect.
Edgelord is... What is Edgelord? I mean, really. It's a prank that I'm not sure the skaters are even in on. I'm not sure anyone is in on it, besides Harmony Korine himself. Who's there for the right reason?
And that's kind of what Edgelord looks like. They have this hodgepodge random group of people. It's like Asphalt Yacht Club. There's no rhyme or reason or logic to this. Whoever put this together doesn't really understand skateboarding or what a team is supposed to be. How the fuck is it Sean Pablo, Vincent Tuzeri, and then Eric Costin is there? Like, there's just no team camaraderie or chemistry. It's obvious they just threw a bunch of money at people. They're being paid to join something that really feels like it has no genuine attachment or roots within skateboarding itself. Based off the rumors that I've heard, the money is fucking crazy. Flow riders being paid $2,000 to $3,000. Bear in mind, flow riders don't get paid. The pros, some of these pros are getting upwards of $10,000 per month. Now, if you pay attention to skateboarding, you know the skateboarding industry isn't doing that well right now. And for a board brand, this amount of money is totally unheard of. I imagine nobody in the industry right now is even coming close to 10K plus per month for pro riders, which means the money is coming from somewhere else. This is where things get quite interesting about Edgelord, where if you do some research about Edgelord's funding, you will come to find that people throwing money at Edgelord are these two British fellas known as the Reuben Brothers. The Reuben Brothers, and these guys are billionaires. You look these guys up, all the photos of them, they have this weird airbrushing effect, like maybe they're trying to disguise their reptilian skin. There's something very child bloodlusty about these guys. These guys are interesting. These guys are some real entrepreneurial, industrious types that don't take no for an answer types. In the early 90s, the brothers invested in the Russian metals market when Russian aluminum smelters were incapacitated by debt. Reuben's company, Transworld, isn't that a coincidence, entered into tolling arrangements with factories in which they paid and delivered raw materials in return for finished aluminum. Transworld was accused of involvement in
Illegal activities.
including several murders? What? Several murders? These guys wouldn't murder anybody. You can tell by looking at them. The brothers were involved with several members of the country's new oligarchies. Vadim Yasvasov, Felix Lvov, and Oleg Kantor. All guys in 1995 that were, I guess they must have been interfering with the money somehow, so they got smoked by the Reuben brothers. One of the smelting plants under their operation was even likened to a concentration camp, and there were reports of rampant environmental pollution. So these guys are evil. We're taking advantage of like a unstable economic situation in Russia, and they're like, yeah, let's throw money at this, and then we'll turn these smelting factories into concentration camps, and they'll squeeze it for all the profit they can get. Now they're like real estate tycoons, and now they're giving money to the creative mastermind of Edgelord, and that's
Harmony Korine.
And this is a photo of Harmony and Rachel Korine. Were part of a November 2023 FIDF. That doesn't stand for fuck IDF. Friend of Israel Defense Forces fundraiser in Miami, Florida that raised over $10 million US to directly support the Zionist army committing a genocide in Palestine. Now, if you object to that definition, here's all the different lists of organizations that classify it as such. And then here are a bunch of other war crimes, large-scale killing, killing and use of starvation as a weapon of war with the intent to destroy Gaza's population. This is genocide, ethnic cleansing, and Harmony Korine, he went to a fundraiser. And these guys also, these Rubin brothers, they've donated tens of millions of dollars to Israel. I mean, this is extremely freaky shit. Earth-shattering, terrifying information to learn about a skateboarding brand, and your favorites like Eric Costin boasting about their association with this company, standing fieldside at a Rams game as a guy who's in his 50s with this stupid fucking mask on, totally fine and willing to accept money from people donating to the most heinous acts in modern history. It's really hard for me to look at Costin now and feel anything other than contempt for the person that he's become. He hangs out drinking beers with guys that are 20 years younger than him in these ridiculous Supreme Hypebeast outfits. And when was the last time you saw the guy do a trick on his skateboard without this weird passive-aggressive and sarcastic energy about him? All I see now is a totally undignified vessel of a human being who just shows up wherever there's money to collect. With edgelord, even if there wasn't all this weird Zionism and murder involved, it's completely uncool to skate for a brand that is not created by skateboarders and is funded by billionaires. Buying boards from board companies run by actual skaters is one of skateboarding's most basic and fundamental principles. Edgelord is never going to be a cool skateboarding company for 1,000 reasons, but more importantly than anything, because it's not a skateboarding company. And I don't even think you can make the argument, these guys don't know about any of this. This took me 5 fucking minutes to research this stuff. They're just getting away with this. I don't think they should be getting away with this. You guys think they should be getting away with this? And Costin, he's very similar to a lot of the other old guys in here, specifically P-Rod, where people don't give a shit about selling out or being a good person or a bad person. They don't give a fuck. All they care about is promoting their own personal brand, staying relevant, getting notifications on Instagram, and squeezing what's left of their shitty career for everything they possibly can, even if it means demeaning and humiliating yourself in this way, which is a good time to talk about P-Rod. P-Rod just recently did a thing with Airbnb where you pay him like $150 to hang out with him for 3 hours at his skate park.
What's up, guys?
This is Paul Rodriguez, and I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up the Primitive Skate Park for my personal Airbnb experience. So if you ever wanted to kill me, now's your chance.
What is wrong with you? Have you no shame? The levels that you're stooping to now, not only to like make money, and then also I feel like there is an element to this as well where P-Rod wants to feel good about himself. He wants to be adored. He wants to be admired. There reaches a certain point of a celebrity's career, I think, where it's sort of a hassle to deal with all of the attention, and then you turn a corner and you get a little bit older and you're not as desirable, you're not as hot as you once were, and then you start to realize, oh man, I really liked all of that stuff. And so now P-Rod, $150 to come hang out with him at a skate park, and you know only the most ravenous, freaky P-Rod fans are going to show up to that, because why the fuck would you do that? I mean, the amount of media free shit that P-Rod has done in the last 2 years, put on any one of the 8,000 podcasts he has recently participated in, close your eyes, and you can hang out with P-Rod for free.
You know, you're a big inspiration to the Latino community.
First and foremost, I look up to Jesus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, the more
Oh my God.
I study and the more I'm...
What is that rule in Christianity? Thou shalt not worship false idols. Tell me why Sunday service is free, but 3 hours at P-Rod's is $150. That's a sin. Cut and dry. I don't want to hear anything about your faith journey, Paul Rodriguez. You can watch all my videos on what Chris Cole has done. This is one of P-Rod's good friends, and how has P-Rod responded to this information that his buddy is awful? He's promoted the shit out of him. He actually has assisted Chris Cole in his bizarre backwards attempt to steamroll through any and all controversy surrounding this issue. Chris Cole has just made himself more available than ever. He's going on podcasts, P-Rod's live streams, and P-Rod is assisting and aiding him in his attempt to just blow right through this entire thing. Now, you know P-Rod is a fake-ass Christian, because this is not how you behave when your friend has been very bad. Acts of conversion, expressing this internal change through actions such as admissions of faults. We haven't heard a single thing about that. Then we have fraternal correction. This is where you're supposed to come in, P-Rod, in a brotherly way, correcting your friend's behavior. P-Rod's not doing that. He's doing the opposite. He's helping him get away with it. Not too surprising considering who he has hanging up in his study here. Spiritual direction and acceptance of suffering. Actually, maybe going on Bert Kreischer's cooking show was a form of penance and an acceptance of suffering.
I don't even know the Bible stories. I don't even know what they say. And like, I'll start forming my opinions and thoughts on certain things, and I'll be like, what am I basing this off? I haven't even read the thing. I don't even know. Yeah. So I started digging in and started like reading the New Testament.
You said you've only read a little bit of the Bible. Maybe you haven't gotten to the whole part about your wife not being okay. Maybe that is a little bit later down the line. Maybe he's going to get to that chapter and go, oh, I shouldn't be helping this guy. And for the record, I'm not suggesting that P-Rod can't hang out with his buddy Chris Cole, publicly disavow him and throw him under the bus, etc., etc., etc. But this has never even been acknowledged. The only acknowledgement from Chris Cole is denying it. And P-Rod has never addressed it to my knowledge, which means you're just helping the guy. And by the way, he's fucking 100% definitely probably allegedly guilty as fucking shit. Watch my videos. Like, it's not like a maybe he did it kind of thing. There is so much evidence against the guy, and he has provided zero counter evidence. What's particularly annoying to me about what P-Rod is currently doing is this classic Christian grift maneuver where you announce that you're now a servant of the Lord, then you automatically gain massive praise from your audience. Like, that reel has 30,000 likes. P-Rod doesn't exhibit any Christian behavior whatsoever. Like, if you pay attention to the guy, his entire existence revolves around promoting his own interests and his brand and his vapid materialistic life. He doesn't do anything Christ-like. He's not volunteering at soup kitchens or teaching homeless guys how to tray flip. Nothing. Even his own relationship to the Lord is all about him. He just looks for new ways every day to get attention on the internet while offering nothing intelligent or substantive in return. People lap this shit up. They're so quick to give social merit to people who announce they believe in God. Like, who gives a fuck? Examine the person's actions and judge them based on that, not upon what religious affiliation they're promoting on Instagram. How is that impressive? I don't think that P-Rod is like shrewd or calculating or cynical enough to consciously realize what he is doing. I don't even think that P-Rod thinks about this stuff. I think that he's just a narcissist who's addicted to talking about himself, and this is another subject by which he's able to do that. And what's funny is Nike is cool with all of this shit. Nike likes what P-Rod is doing, and what P-Rod is doing is constantly making himself accessible to people. Now, it used to be that if you were a celebrity or you were good at something, you know, you would pop up and do interviews and go on shows and make posts or whatever if you had something to promote. What's interesting about P-Rod is that he just does this now. P-Rod promotes himself as a product. P-Rod now perceives himself to be some kind of like entertainer or influencer. I could see that some people might be listening to this and thinking, wow, like you're really going hard on P-Rod. He just sort of seems like an airhead. And I am, but let me explain my point of view. P-Rod is famous because he is a skater. He's not a person that is capable of generating interesting commentary or thoughts on virtually any topic. Like, his area of expertise is himself. He's incredibly boring and he's never intentionally funny. Like, and yet he refuses to stop broadcasting himself. And what bothers me specifically is what P-Rod is promoting, which is this idealization and this craving that he has to participate in some of the lowest forms of entertainment. He wants to befriend and get in with, you know, podcast comedians, a group of people that by their own fans are studied and observed, not with admiration, but with disdain. People actually tune into a lot of these shows because they hate watch these guys. Their own fans mock them. That's how badly they suck. P-Rod P-Rod is entitled to do whatever he wants and post whatever he likes on the internet, but I don't think that as one of skateboarding's top pros, I don't really like this association with skateboarding. I think that skateboarding should be its own thing and way above and ahead of the curve of like these phony televised social gatherings between Hollywood D-listers. This is what intrigues P-Rod. This is what he's attracted to.
I know what I'm doing, you know?
Jason Ellis, he's an old vert skater, and he was friends with Chris Cole and Christine. That's Chris's ex-wife, and they used to like work out together, be friends, Christine and Jason. Now, what's interesting about Jason is that when Christine first started telling people that Chris Cole beat her and tried to kill her, texted this to Jason. How do you think Jason responded to that information? What do you think he did? He blocked her. He blocked her number. And the reason that he blocked Christine is because Chris Cole's new girlfriend, Whitney Cummings, she's a stand-up comedian. She allows Jason to open for her. Jason was like, well, I'm not about to entertain the idea that I might be friends with somebody who is a bad person if it's going to interfere with my professional pursuits. So he just blocks her. Another old guy with no shame. This is a recent announcement from the Boonies, which is Tim Pool's skateboarding brand. So Tim has this Grandmaster Galaxy Brain plan to revitalize the interest in skateboarding among the youth and then funnel that interest into conservative ideology.
We are building this massive skate park. This is a massive undertaking that will have a tremendous influence on young people and get them more involved in the worldview that we believe is a better and more moral worldview.
He thought, yeah, let me bring this 53-year-old vert skater out of retirement because kids are going to be all over that. What a fucking genius.
Professional skateboarder, Jason Ellis. Represent the Boonies.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a good brand. One that is deliberately political, one that is seeking to use skateboarding as like a grooming tool. This is a guy, Tim Pool, you may have heard about this. An indictment filed alleges a media company linked to 6 conservative influencers, including personalities Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, but you guys don't, those are irrelevant, was secretly funded by Russian state media employees to churn out English language videos that were often consistent with the Kremlin's interest in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition to Russian interests like it's war in Ukraine. Are you fucking kidding me, man? What? That's your boss? This guy was getting paid $100,000 a week. Millions, 100K per episode to get on camera and deliberately say things that were polarizing and divisive and confusing to his listeners. He was working for Putin. This is literally treason. Tim Pool's response to this, by the way, was, I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, it's the same shit with edgelord. It's like, why am I getting paid $100,000 an episode? I don't know. I have no idea. Meanwhile, he's on camera saying,
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
They're the country that we need to be most concerned about. Oh, I wonder why he would say that. You know, I wonder if that aligns with Russian interests invading those poor fuckers. And by the way, Jason Ellis, yeah, I'll work for literally an enemy of the state. Somebody who should be classified as a traitor. This is a traitor to the United States. to the empire, actively working against our interests. And this is all related to skateboarding. It's fucking bizarre. To compound this irony even further, Jason Ellis's new sponsor is Black Rifle Coffee Company, which is founded by a guy who worked for the CIA and the Green Berets. The terrifying world of political grifting and how it has become intertwined with skateboarding. I mean, what the fuck? And by the way, if you choose to accept money from this guy, you're co-signing that. Same with you, Richie Jackson. Same with you, Cody McIntyre. Where the fuck do you get off, Cody McIntyre? You got a mini ramp with a "Don't Tread on Me." So you're a big-time patriot. You're working for Putin's slave there. And Richie Jackson, too. How are you going to fucking sit there? I mean, these guys are so stupid. They're so fucking dumb. And this event, by the way, I'll make a video about that soon. But holy shit, this fucking event, man. This game of skate, the way they filmed it, it looked like a hostage video.
Who's there for the right reason?
Really bad stuff, guys. Real negative. And these are the things that need to be examined and exposed.
I'm not gay.
I just turned 50 and I'm gay. Yeah, it was a bit of an accident, not 50. But they both are not a choice, make no mistake.
There are people that are gay and there are people that are straight. And there are people that are both. I have the capability of being both.
Not a choice, make no mistake.
But now that I live a more conservative lifestyle,
the worldview that we believe is a better and more moral worldview.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
I want to fuck you.
Yeah.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
I would fold you up and smash you. I'd probably prefer to fuck both of you at the same time, but
I think watching gay porn, if you're straight, doesn't make you want to do gay shit.
Say that again?
If you watch gay porn and you're straight, it doesn't make you want to do gay stuff.
This nigga's a homosexual.
It's funny that Jason would just announce that he's no longer gay. His opportunism across the board is so fucking predictable. He thinks he can just pick up the most popular interests, comedy, podcasting, and fighting. Totally obvious to everybody that he's copying Joe Rogan in hopes that he will, by some divine miracle, end up on his show. Jason has been more than happy to use bisexuality as a tool to earn social credit and farm material for what he calls stand-up comedy, which is actually what most dudes his age think is stand-up, which is just getting in front of an audience and way oversharing. And it's not that funny when you realize he's not joking around, he's just confessing. Now we live in a different social climate. The tides have turned. Trump is back in office, and there's some actual pressure and legislation targeted towards gay people. And guess what? He's no longer interested. Now that he's not on the winning team, he just changes sides. He's exactly the dude if you're playing Call of Duty when he's down. Oh, look, Jason's fucking team terrorist now. What a surprise.
like, I want you to blow me.
Okay, that's cool.
Because I know you're really into it.
Yeah.
And you got a pretty face. You can suck it. This guy.
This is probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been.
No, and this guy's friends with Tony Hawk. This is one of Tony Hawk's best buddies. Like, you guys don't just get to opt out of how fucked up all of this stuff is. You don't just get to go, no, I'm good. No, Tony, you have to say something about Jason Ellis working for a Russian spy. You do. You don't just get to not have an opinion on that and keep selling bullshit to children.
Being a pro snacker is all about having fun. Why don't you just fucking die already?
Is this a good advertisement for skateboarding? This guy's 60.
Budgets is budgeting! Tony Hawk!
How much more accurate of analogy do you need than Tony Hawk on stage at the Kids' Choice Award in front of hundreds of kids who have never heard of him? Never. They have no fucking idea who this guy is. The skateboarding is supposed to be about pissing off old guys, right? That's what we're here to do. And instead, it's just old guys. Our shit's fucked up. You know, the kids at the Kids' Choice Awards, they're not going to be thinking like, oh, wow, if I get into skateboarding now, it'll be a lifelong hobby that I can enjoy. They're going to be like, oh my God, look at that old bitch kick turning on stage. I'm certainly not going to be purchasing one of those anytime soon. So what are we talking about? We're talking about remakes?
I mean, listen, we talking about remakes. Not a game. We talking about remakes.
We're talking about remakes right now. What are we talking about? Remakes? Tony Hawk, unsurprisingly, yes, wanted more money and attention, so he's like, how about I release a shitty, bastardized version of a once universally adored franchise? Anyway, I don't know anything about video games really anymore. I stopped gaming. I retired.
But now I'm back.
So I wanted to be sure that this thing was as shitty as I thought it would be. So, of course, I went to Reddit. I consulted the experts. I'm just going to say it. This Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 remake is more of a reimagining than a true remake. You guys probably don't know the difference between those two words, but in gamer speak, that means that this Tony Hawk game is a scam. That means they're stealing from you. They're providing you shit and then asking for your money. I have kind of lost all interest and hype I had for it. People keep saying things like, I'm still gonna buy it. It's more Tony Hawk's, or the 2-minute format is fine, but I just don't get why we're all so quick to settle for this watered down version. Sure, 3 is probably fine, but why include 4 if it's not really 4? Good question. I actually think I have an answer for that. You want to know why Tony Hawk included 3 and 4? That's because 3 and 4 are Tony Hawk's angel numbers. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. 3 and 4 are Tony Hawk's marriage statistics. That's 3 divorces and 4 wives. Fuck Tony, little pervert ass bitch.
What are we talking about? Remakes. We're talking about reimaginings, man. We're talking about...
Are we surprised? This guy says, this narrative is already so tiresome. Can't wait for July when the game releases and everyone can just enjoy it on its own merits. That doesn't fit my narrative, actually. So let's get out of here before people are agreeing with him. You wonder why he's wearing a purple shirt on the front of it. That's because...
This game is extremely sponsored by Taco Bell. Like, really, really, really sponsored by Taco Bell.
Got Tony Hawk, career athlete, and what is his message to the children? Play video games and eat Taco Bell, just like me. Yep, good advice, Tony. Then you'll be able to skateboard when you're 80 years old. And the people on Reddit, as a frequent Taco Bell enjoyer, this means so much to me. I just wish there was a Baja Blast deck. Is life worth living, or should I Baja Blast myself? If you're discussing the new Tony Hawk Taco Bell collab on Reddit, I think the answer is clear. This is how Tony actually justified this obviously greedy and unnecessary collaboration in the video game by shoving a bunch of Taco Bell bullshit in there. It's always good when they try to do this because their only choice is to lie. There's no answer that is believable as to why Tony Hawk has Taco Bell stuff in his video game other than he wants money. Here's what he said. Skating's always been about doing your own thing. No rules. Just self-expression. That's why joining forces with Taco Bell is a dream come true. How? What's the connection? What? Excuse me. It reminds me a whole lot of...
I think that Doritos is connected to like skating in an authentic way.
That's how big of a bullshit artist Tony Hawk is. He's out there competing with legends of fibbing such as Mikey Alfred. Now remember, he said, there's no rules in skateboarding. Okay, Tony, then what's this? Taco Bell continues to lead the value game by teaming up with skateboarding icon Tony Hawk to share his take on the Build Your Own Lux Cravings box. Available only through the Taco Bell app and website. What?
Oh, really?
Oh, really? So how are there no rules in skateboarding, but I can only get the Tony Hawk Build Your Own Lux Cravings box through the Taco Bell app and website? If there were no rules, I would be able to mosey on over to my local Taco Bell and ask for the Tony Hawk meal. But there are rules, and I can't do that. So not only does this not even make any sense to begin with, it's also a lie. There are clearly rules in skateboarding and Taco Bell. And by the way, one of the rules in skateboarding is no working with Taco Bell. That's banned. Everyone knows that. Taco Bell Rewards members will have the chance to earn the summer's biggest reward. And what is that? The sweet release of death, you might ask? No. It's one of 500 custom skateboard decks with the first 15 redeemed signed by Tony Hawk himself. Oh my God! Give it to me now. Tony Hawk's signature? You mean that thing that is completely valueless? I can get that on a Taco Bell skateboard. This is a bizarre web of tasks to gain access to what was then the demo for a game that came out 1,000 years ago. Skateboarding has always been about doing your own thing. There's no rules, just self-expression. I personally choose to express myself by ordering any $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings boxes, or building my own Lux Cravings box on the Taco Bell app and getting a code to unlock a unique in-game Taco Bell item each week. That's how I choose to express myself. Let's just make sure we're all on the same page here. I can earn digital items with Taco Bell Corporation branding in a remake of a video game that came out 23 years ago. I pay Taco Bell to promote Taco Bell to myself to sell myself more Taco Bell in the video game I bought now for the second time, only this time it's way shittier, and so am I. There's only one thing to say. This heckin' game rules! Shut up and take my money. I just want everybody to realize this. This may be painful. This may come as a surprise. But you're never going to be 12 years old again. Tony Hawk, skateboarding, they're all selling you the idea that you can feel that way again. Not gonna happen. By the way, do you know how fucking stupid you would have to be to have this in your house? A Taco Bell deck signed by Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk has been selling shit to his idiot fans for as long as he has been able to. These are new Tony Hawk shoes coming out, and I like this comment that said, "These are sick. When will these get released? Will they have removable soles so we can put in orthotics? Wish this was a joke." If you're concerned about your feet hurting, maybe get some shoes that aren't made out of recycled Amazon mailers. So to finish off this video, I suppose I want to say that this was mostly just about taking the piss out of these old dudes. And while I do think they are currently overrepresented, I think that that is understandable and kind of makes sense given the current conditions within skateboarding, which are either, you know, skateboarding's never going to blow up again, or this is just sort of a transition period. So it kind of does track that a lot of people into skating are going to be latching on to people that make them think about when their lives were better and when skateboarding was more popular, etc., etc., etc. The issue that I see with this, though, is that it can like hamstring and prevent skateboarding maybe from growing or rebounding in the way that I think most of us would like it to. That being said, I don't think skateboarding being small is really a bad thing. It just economically sucks for the people involved. That's too bad. But if you're just a casual skateboarding hobbyist, this shouldn't affect you. Like, skateboarding is just as fun regardless of how much your favorite professionals are making. Don't buy a fucking P-Rod shoe, because that's sending the wrong message to Nike and every other shoe brand. Just don't buy. These guys are already rich, by the way. Pretty much everybody I'm talking about in this video already owns a house. They're already made men. Go support somebody who runs a brand or a company that's doing something new, something that is exciting, that actually has the potential to shape and mold the future of skateboarding and advance it, instead of purchasing products that were relevant 20 years ago. You know what I mean? That's not very productive from my point of view. I think skateboarding is always going to be fine. I don't think skateboarding is ever going to go out like scootering or BMXing or anything like that, because I don't think skateboarding is a fad. I think it is that fun of a hobby, and it's that entertaining of an activity. It's never really going to die. So yeah, love you guys. Bye. All right. Hey man, them ain't high heel sneakers, and they sure don't look like cowboy boots, and that ain't rock and roll you're playing. And it sure ain't country, rhythm and blues. You're singing a song about making love to your drummer. Well, gay guitar pickers don't turn me on. We don't all get into Donna Summer. Do you happen to know any old Hank Williams songs? 'Cause you see, I'm a dinosaur. I should have died out a long time before. Have pity on a dinosaur. Hand me my hat. Excuse me, ma'am, but where's the door?